Hi, this is Annie Gaus for TFN. Now, between Pandora, Spotify, RDO, and good old-fashioned BitTorrent, users these days have a lot of choice on where and how to get their music. But with all the complexities facing the industry right now, it's still not totally clear where this business is headed. So we're here at SF MusicTech Summit 2013, and we're going to talk to some industry insiders and hopefully get some of these questions answered. We're counting on you to tell us the future of music streaming on the web. What do you see as a trend in the coming year?
Well, it's much more about artists and fans directly connecting. It's if you can build a relationship by cutting out the labels, by cutting out the middlemen, that makes a better, more authentic, more valuable experience for everybody. So whereas I can't go every night to a concert, I can watch a concert from my house every night. And that's really what it's about, getting the fans and artists to be closer together.
Now, how do you see people consuming music differently in the next few years as opposed to how they did 5 years ago, say?
Well, just by virtue of the fact that products like RDO and others are out there with the unlimited access to all these songs, that we're only in the beginning of finding out what it means again to have access to all of these songs and not have to pay every time you want to see if you like a new album or a new artist or a new song. Computers and algorithms have a place for discovery for sure, but I think it's much more interesting to involve people. You get the serendipity that a computer can't provide. That said, though, I think the real challenge for us and for everyone is to get the on-demand, as in I want to listen to this particular album, the on-demand experience and the lean-back experience. Namely, just give me a play button to press and make sure I like what comes out. Finding a way to marry those concepts and provide a great product that is fun to use and interesting to use and gives you great music experience. That's a challenge that we all have.
What would you say to artists in terms of how they can kind of harness this current ecosystem and harness the digital space to get themselves out there or to improve their content?
You know, if you're a new artist or even if you're a current artist, I think making your content as available as possible is how you kind of get that distribution. And that the way I see a lot of people using apps right now is very gimmicky. It's sort of like a publicity thing, like, oh, well, our artist has an app, let's use it to sell music. But what we're trying to do a Relative Wave is the opposite of that. We're trying to create apps that bring new mediums of content in a way that if we make an app to watch a music video, that's no better than watching a music video in the web browser.
One of the kind of the core issues is how much are people willing to pay for music, and what type of music, and what capacity. What do you think that consumers want at this point, and how do you expect that different companies will deliver on that?
I don't think the price is really that much of an issue, because on the really low end, you'll get a lot of people, but you don't make that much. A lot is how do you get more money out of the people who want to pay a lot. It's like in gaming, it's about the whales. How do you find the people who will spend huge amounts of money? And we've got to find new ways to do it in music, because traditionally you've got an album and it's $14 and that caps how much you can pay, not just the artist, but people who then pay the artist. So now if you can find a way to have a more authentic experience, whether it's bringing you into the production process or connecting with you in person or taking you backstage, it's like these new ways of getting the people who want to pay more money to actually be able to do so. That's really where it's going.
So you actually just finished speaking on a panel called Experiencing Music in the Future. What went on in there? I'd like to know.
I mean, it got sort of heated. We got into this debate at the end about how music will be created in the future. And the point of view that I wanted to put out there was we're hitting a point where you can create an entire song on a laptop with real sounding instruments. Like you can have real drums and strings and piano and anything. And it's not far-fetched to say that you could make a program that could generate this music and generate it with this sort of like humanistic feeling, not electronic sounding music, but computer generated music that sounds as real as anything you would hear from an artist. And I think that was a little disconcerting to a lot of people, especially in the music industry. But the direction I'd like to take that is, if it were possible, or if that becomes possible in the future, which I believe it will, you could theoretically compose music for an individual person. You could look at their listening habits. You could look at the chemistry of their brain, whatever technology is available at the time, and use it to compose music that is perfect for them. where like music that would be 1,000 times better than you would hear today, because it would be composed for you.
All right, so there you have it, some insights on the future of music, and we're going to toss this one out to you guys again. What service are you using right now and why? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you back in the studio. For TFN, this is Annie.